Hello everyone and welcome to Linux Forensics here at Pen Tester Academy. In this video, we're going to look at the timeline that we stored in a database in a previous video. So here I wrote another simple script. You don't really need to use this, but it might make it easier for you to look at your timeline that's in the database. And what I did here is the script will take the name of the database and a starting date, and then it will do a simple query. It will print out your timeline showing all the different modify, accessed, and changed operations from your timeline, starting with the date that you give it. So let's go ahead and run it. And I will go ahead and run print timeline sh on my database case 2015-39, and I will start at March 1st, 2015. It'll ask me for my database password, and off it goes. It's going to create this. Now, normally you would want to capture this to a file, which is something that I've already done. And we will look at this in our editor in just a second. Similar to what we've done in some other cases, you could create a CSV file of some sort and put this into a spreadsheet if you prefer. That's a pretty easy modification to do to our simple little script. But for now, I'm going to look at the text file that I generated. And here it is. Now we sort this file from the latest times onward. Previously, we said that this user had downloaded a rootkit. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Xing. It was Xing Shi Quan that he had downloaded. Now, this is on the 12th. There was some activity with this file. Let's zoom ahead. Notice there are 270 occurrences, and I'm actually going to search back from the first one. And I see I'm getting some false positives. But here is my first real deal. So if I look at this entry in my log, I see that on the 5th of March at around 11 o'clock in the evening, there was a modification made to this file. Most likely what that means is this file was modified at that time because it was downloaded and then put into this directory. So here we have this tar gzipped file, and I'm sure if we look a little bit later, we will start seeing some other accesses to this file. So if we search upward, here we see a create or change. So again, a change in this case means a change to the inode. And here I see some other things happening about a minute later. So it looks like about a minute after this file was downloaded, this rootkit was uncompressed and likely installed. So here it's been uncompressed. Let's see, maybe it took whoever the attacker was a little bit of time in order to figure out what to do with it. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to search upward. And I see that a few days later, actually, so apparently our attacker didn't really know what to do with his new rootkit. he must have logged back in and he read the README file. I see that more was used, so he must have used more in order to look at the file. Then I see these files being accessed again. And what else do we see? We see a bunch of accesses to some other files, and I see a access to a reverse shell. So it would appear as though this rootkit has now been installed. All right, so yes, it looks like the user John had something to do with this compromise. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that John was behind it, but it does appear as though around the 5th of March, someone used the John account, they downloaded a rootkit, and they installed it a few days later. And it appears as though it's been installed ever since. Now, one of the things you will see if you look a little further into this rootkit, you will see a bunch of entries for where this rootkit directory is continuously accessed. Now recall that when we did our netstat and we looked at what ports were active, we did an LSOF to look at open files and ports. That failed, and it was probably because of this rootkit. And we'll see in some later videos if we could possibly get that information back using some memory analysis. So again, what's happening here is most likely that this rootkit is covering its tracks every time it gets run. And here you see all of these source files that are being included when this is built. So if you look under user include, user lib, you might also see some stuff from user source where it's getting various binaries in order to install itself. In fact, right here we have our install command. So that user ran the install command, which then called gcc, and that accessed all of these header files in order to build our rootkit. Well, that's all for this video. As always, if you're enjoying these videos here at Pen Tester Academy, please tell a friend. We'll see you soon.